All right, hi guys, I'm here to do the April 30th assignment on IXL. I have very little to no experience with IXL. So I am learning, you guys probably know way more than I do because you do this all the time with Miss Motsinger. That's not correct. That's not correct. Where is my IXL page? Just had it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to 7th grade math and we're doing lesson X1, coral reefs. So I'm going to click on that. Man, okay. Stage 1, answer 4 to 5 questions correctly. So let's start. Okay, so a tropical coral reef is a type of ecosystem in the ocean. Tropical coral reefs are found in the warm, shallow water near the equator. They have many large formations called corals. Corals may look like rocks or plants, but they are actually structures made up of living animals and can grow over time. Corals provide shelter for fish, crabs, eels, and many other organisms. These coral reef organisms are prey for larger animals such as sea turtles, sharks, and dolphins. Most of these organisms need tropical coral reefs in order to survive and reproduce. Which of the following are characteristics? They're used by many different organisms. Yes, right? Provide shelter. They're actually structures made up of living and grow over time. Yes, they have a large rocks called corals. No, they are not rocks. Corals, they are large formations. So they are not rocks.
Mom.
No, bunny.
Mom.
They have warm, salty water. Let's look. Tropical coral reefs are found in warm, shallow water near the equator. Well, of course, the ocean is salty. So they have warm, salty water. They have. I don't think that they have warm, salty water. Okay. They're in warm, salty water. So I'm not going to click that. I think that's a trick of words. They're usually found in the deep ocean. That is not true either. So maybe, is it just one? Now I'm second guessing. I'm going to say they have warm, salty water. Oh, yay. Okay. Corals are made up of many tiny animals called polyps. Most polyps are less than 1 centimeter across. They are related to sea anemones and have stinging tentacles. Remember Nemo? Anemone. Okay. Thousands of polyps live together in groups. Each coral polyp has a hard skeleton. The skeletons of all polyps in a group form a coral structure. A coral grows as more polyps add their skeletons. But because polyps are so small, this growth is so small, it's very slow. A coral might take a whole year to grow just a few centimeters. Which of the following are characteristics of coral? So this is the tricky thing. You don't want characteristics of polyps, you want characteristics of coral. So a coral grows as more polyps add their skeletons, but because polyps are so small, this growth is slow. So I'm going to say yes. They are all less than 1 centimeter across. So corals are made up of many tiny polyps, most polyps. So the polyps are less than 1 centimeter, not the coral. And they are made up of multiple organisms. Corals are made up of tiny animals called polyps. Nope, so they're made up of polyps. So I'm going to just go with 1. Ah, darn it. Okay, so multiple organisms is correct. All right, whoops. Tropical coral reefs are home to thousands of different species. The variety of species in an ecosystem is called biodiversity. Tropical coral reefs have some of the highest amounts of biodiversity of all ecosystems on Earth. Read the description of these 3 other ecosystems. Select the ecosystem with the highest biodiversity. The desert ecosystem often has hot, dry weather. It has many different species of plants and animals that have adaptations for staying cool and storing water. This tundra ecosystem is very cold for most of the year. Only a few species, such as caribou and wolves, are able to survive under these harsh conditions. This open ocean ecosystem is home to large fish and marine animals. Because this ecosystem does not have many habitats, it does not have many different species. So this says not a lot of species. This says few species, so I'm going with the desert. It's kind of shocking. Got it. All right, so we have to get 4 out of 5. So that is our challenge. So we've already missed one, so we have to be perfect. An ecosystem with higher biodiversity is often better able to support life. When an ecosystem has many different species, it can provide more types of food, shelter, and other resources for the organisms living there. Having many species may also increase an ecosystem's resilience or ability to handle stress or damage. If one species is wiped out by a disaster or disease, another species may be able to fill the same role in that ecosystem. For example, a disease could wipe out a species that is eaten by many predators. An ecosystem, hey Kennedy, excuse me, Kennedy, Kennedy. Okay, I apologize for that. Okay, so for example, a disease could wipe out a species that is eaten by many predators. An ecosystem with higher biodiversity is more likely to have other species that those predators can eat. Yes, hi Crosby. How might high biodiversity help a coral reef?
Mom.
Hi, are you Crosby? It could help the reef's ecosystem adjust if one of its species goes extinct. Yes, it says having many species also increases its resilience, ability to handle stress or damage. If one species is wiped out by disaster or disease, another species may be able to fill in. So, how might high biodiversity? Yes. And we're picking the best 3. It protects the reef from ever being stressed or damaged by humans. An ecosystem with higher diversity is often better able to support life. When an ecosystem has many different species, it can provide more types of food, shelter, and other resources. If one species is wiped out, or ability to handle stress or damage. So it protects the reef from ever being stressed or damaged. It makes the reef more likely to recover from a natural disaster. Ooh. So the wording on this one, it protects the reef from ever being. It can still be stressed or damaged. But it makes it more likely to recover. I think this. It provides the reef's organisms more types of food and shelter. So I'm going with these 3.
No.
Yay. Okay.
No.
Hi.
No.
Hi, Buddy.
No.
Sorry, I started this video
Mom.
before he woke up from his nap. Hi, Buddy.
Mommy.
Hi, Cressy.
Mommy.
You gonna talk to my students? Say hi. Coral reefs help humans in many ways. The ways in which an ecosystem benefits humans are called ecosystem services. Here are a few examples of ecosystem services provided by coral reefs. Every year, humans eat millions of tons of fish, shellfish, and other seafood. Many of the species we eat need coral reefs in order to survive and reproduce. Corals can shield beaches and islands from waves. This produces erosion that could wash out sand or damage buildings. A coral reef can also protect against storms and floods near the ocean. Coral reefs are part of the histories and traditions of people around the world. For example, the Aboriginal people of Australia have fished on coral reefs for thousands of years. They have traditional legends, songs, and art about the reefs and their animals. Which of the following are types of ecosystem services? Select the 2 best choices. Cultural value, protection from predators, flooding in towns, or food. So food was one, flooding was another, and then it said cultural 2, but it says the 2 best choices. This reduces erosion. The coral reef can also protect against storms. Which of the following are types of ecosystem services? Food, flooding in town. So I guess flooding doesn't provide a service. So that's tricky. didn't talk about protection, so we're going to go with a cultural value. These questions are tricky, tricky, tricky. Very good. Okay, so we met our challenge. Good work. Stage 2. Answer 5 out of 6. So you guys did stage 1. What does it say to do? Use explore problem. Log into your IXL. Okay. So teacher results not recorded. Okay, so I would keep going. Maybe you can pause for the next day, but these are definitely some really tricky questions, so you have to make sure you know what you're reading and slow down and pay attention to what it's asking you. All right, so I'm going to end this video. I will be able to see your results, and I will ask Miss Kasula, who has more practice with IXL, how many stages she's having her kids go. So I'll find that out and I will send that in an email.